One of the features of living in Australia is this natural sense of social responsibility that seems to be quite a norm, regardless of age or religious background. It's not uncommon to hear enthusiastic talk of not-for-profit initiatives or volunteer trips amongst family and friends. And it just so happened that I was given one such opportunity to travel overseas as part of my work and to volunteer for an orphanage in Vietnam. When I arrived there, I had no way of preparing for the reality that this orphanage was not only a home for young people, but that most of them were severely disabled due to the effects of Agent Orange, a chemical intentionally used in war. Even more of a surprise to me was that this orphanage wasn't my image of small children running around. Most were actually teenagers, homeless, parentless, chemically tortured, and severely malnourished. Of all my interactions there, the most pivotal experience was putting these young people to sleep. I would embrace them, cradle their heads in support, and rock them gently. And each time I expressed one of those physical gestures, it would evoke the most peaceful and gracious response from the teenager in my arms. Safe rest and physical expressions of tenderness, both so essential for someone to perceive that they belong as precious and loved. Body language can say so much. For me, it brings to mind a reflection I once heard about the story of Jesus healing a leper. I've heard some explanations that highlight the curing of the disease as the supernatural meaning of the story. Others emphasize the idea of Jesus' power transforming the leper from being an outcast to having a belonging in the community again. But others emphasize that moment where, completely against culture, religious practice, and upbringing, Jesus chooses to touch the diseased skin of an outcast. The take I heard on the story was that this was the supernatural moment, because Jesus moved beyond what should have been a natural aversion and broke this barrier, extending the warmth of his touch to someone who had probably forgotten the tenderness of human gestures. And it also reminds me why it was so absolutely necessary that God would become Jesus in order for us to know, touch, feel and experience a God whose gestures aren't removed from our world, our yearnings and our needs.